are hosting the education session on meeting roles and responsibilities, something that's very crucial to enhance our meeting experiences for every member and guest who attends it. I would like to introduce our today's educator, DTM Sham, who is well known by everyone here. He's been a Toastmaster since 2008. Shamsa is an instrumentation engineer from BITS Pilani. He is now living his dream as an entrepreneur after being an employee for almost 30 years, working in India and the Middle East. He now owns a consulting firm based out of Navi Mumbai and a manufacturing firm out of Vapi. DTM Sham has published a best-selling book, The Great Corporate Escape, based on his life's experience. He has been a president of 2 clubs, past area director of Area M3, and became a distinguished Toastmaster on 2nd of Jan this year. Before we begin the session, I have a couple of ground rules for everyone. Please keep your audios on mute, mobile phones on mute, and will appreciate if you keep your videos on unless situation does not permit. I would now like to welcome DTN Sham to begin the session. Over to you, Shamsa.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rowan, for this amazing introduction. Always gives me goosebumps when people consider me a distinguished Toastmaster after how many years? 18 years in Toastmasters, right? 17 years to be precise. But yes, it has been an absolute honor being a Toastmaster over such a long period of time, and probably what makes it fitting for today's meeting, specifically the meeting roles and responsibilities, having probably seen over the last, every year we got 52 weeks, 26 weeks, at least goes for Toastmasters. So 26 meetings a year. And over the last 10 years, 260 meetings. Then another 8 years, another 220 meetings, so more than 500 meetings in person attended, and other meetings as well. So having attended so many meetings, I think I could probably be one person who's fit enough to conduct this particular session. And thank you all for coming in on a Thursday evening. I don't think anyone is a KKR fan who is watching IPL. So good enough to be here at this particular time. Thank you so much. But let me straight away jump in. So, I mean, we can make it interactive as well. If anyone needs to have a quick clarification, you can always raise your hands and please, I will make note and then I can always clarify, or if you need to give any inputs as well. We have got some great Toastmasters from other clubs as well joining in. So I'm sure this is going to be an interactive session. I hope I'm audible, right? Any thumbs up? Yeah, Uday put a thumbs up. Thank you. Great. Okay, so every Toastmasters meeting is a meeting, right? So meeting means there is going to be a structure. And in that structure, one of the key elements that plays a big part is going to be time. Right? So every club has got a time in the agenda when the meeting is going to start. For example, Kaga Toastmasters starts at 3 p.m. So the first and foremost responsibility of the club is to start the meeting on time. By the way, Rohan ma'am, when the time is around 30 minutes past 9, just give me an indication so that I will be able to wrap by 9:40, 45. Okay. Thank you. So, time, critical. And who do you think is going to be the key person, or who do you think is going to be critical in starting the meeting on time? I don't want the answer that Rajan is asked. You can chat. I can use a chat box as well. It helps me monitor. So, whose responsibility it is if we need to start the meeting on time? Yeah, chat box, please.
Is it Sa?
SA starts the meeting. That's for, but whose responsibility? Of course, SA will start provided members are present, right?
I think then in that case, timer.
It's a collective response. Let me be honest. It's a collective response to all the members. Finally, we need to have everyone in the room before the start of the meeting. Otherwise, the meeting doesn't start. So it's not only members, it's role players, everyone. In a meeting, there are multiple role players. So unless everyone reaches before time, how can we start the meeting? So it's a collective responsibility of the members of the club who have taken up especially the role. So my point starts there. That is the reason why every time when you open a WhatsApp message, you see the presiding officer or the president of the club, Somnath, or even the Vaiki Education telling everyone, role players, please come 15 minutes early. One of the reasons is that unless they come in early, so as a group, as a collective, let us take that first step in ensuring that all the role players in a meeting come before time. That creates so many other things as well. It not only ensures that the meeting starts on time, you also find that cohesiveness during the meeting. Everyone comes and discusses, this is what I'm going to say, this is what I'm going to do, this is what. So the final last minute, whatever needs to be done can be done much before the meeting starts so that the meeting goes very smoothly. And just look at meetings, how the meeting goes. Because if we need to grow a club, you need to add new members, and the new members come in only if the guests, or what we call in Airoli as future Toastmasters. They will join the club only if they find that the club has got a quality meeting and there is something for the guests to come in and learn. Right? So that learning, all those things comes when the meeting has quality, and that quality comes in by preparation much before the meeting. So for me, if I am a Toastmaster and if I become a member of the club and if I take up any role, my role does not start during the meeting. My role starts much before the meeting because the preparation that goes behind each role is so important. And that is going to be the key in running a very effective meeting. So my sincere, earnest request to everyone that whenever they take up a role, whatever role it is, every role is important. Right from the Sergeant at Arms to the closure, be it the presiding officer, be it the Toastmaster, I'll come to each one of them. But the emphasis that I want to make is role player's duty start as soon as he or she accepts that role and goes forward. In the process, many things come in. See, you won't find this. This is based on the experience that I've had over the years. We can always tell when which club has a quality meeting, or even in a quality club, some meetings are good, some meetings are not so good. The difference is all in preparation. Preparation for a meeting is key. Many of us think that only a prepared speech is a preparation. No. The Sergeant at Arms to the presiding officer, everyone needs to come in prepared. There is no unless it is a last minute role player, and last minute role player also has to be a seasoned Toastmaster because he or she cannot be advised at the last minute what is to be done. So this goes without any compromise, if I may say so. So today when we have a specific session for Karga Toastmasters, as also other members of the club, let us stick to that. Let us ensure that we are prepared so that we come in and deliver a flawless performance. Okay. Now, when we go to the next slide. This is quickly, generally it comes like this. These are the various role players. Every one of us knows that. But in sequence, how it starts is, it starts with the Sergeant at Arms, right? The Sergeant at Arms is the starting role player. Every club has got a Sergeant at Arms, and we expect that Sergeant at Arms to be present during the meeting because Sergeant at Arms' role is not only about opening the meeting, but also getting the meeting room prepared, getting the banner in place, getting all those arrangements, whatever the speaker needs. So many things have to be done by the Sergeant at Arms. So, when I see in our club or most of the clubs, it is possible that the Sergeant at Arms is busy and there is no continuity. But generally, it is the officiating Sergeant at Arms who is going to take up the role. when we start the meeting. But there are many things which needs to be done. Most of us know, but there are some things which should not be done, which should be focused on. And I had a meeting. We had a long discussion with Toastmaster Rowan over the last week. And one thing which I noticed, yes, we are all given a script. We are told to focus on the script. But any role player, when you use the script, please ensure that they don't read continuously from the script. When you read continuously, you're not connecting with the audience. And the sergeant at arms is the first person who interacts with the members or the guests. Now, as members, we all know about anyone who's coming on stage. We have been seeing them once or twice or 10 or 15, 20 times, 30 times in the scene. But the guest who is coming in, or even the new members, they look at how the meeting starts. So it should feel as if the meeting is starting on a high. So it's all on the sergeant at arms who makes the meeting start on a high. Very important. Okay. So I've seen multiple clubs. It's how the sergeant at arms comes forward and starts with that passion, that energy, that smile, all those things, and the claps. So the initial claps, let it go on for 1 minute if it needs to be done. Till the sergeant at arms feels that he or she is comfortable being on stage. That is very critical. So I've seen clubs where the sergeant at arms comes and starts with a physical activity or something, whatever it takes. It is all good. Experimenting is good. But at least that happens when the sergeant at arms is confident enough. Otherwise, things will go awry. Otherwise, it's best to stick to the script. But when you read the script, ensure that you look up and see people in the eye. Very important. So it is not about just reading, running through, and then somehow managing to get it over and go away. That is not the thing to be done. The sergeant at arms needs to read the script, look up, and this is for all the role players who are reading the script. I will not repeat this again. So when you're reading the script, ensure that everyone looks up, comes down, read, looks up, scan the room, then read again. That helps in the connection. I still don't see any comments. If anyone has doubts on this, anyone who thinks that how is it possible to do anything? I need to have some interaction here. Otherwise, I find myself, because I see only two people on. Shubhan is, of course, there on camera. But other than that, anyone who is listening in or any questions to be asked? Ganesh?
No, sir, it's going well. Sorry, I was a bit outside. I just reached to the home, so I will be on the camera now.
No, not that. I mean, I just want to understand, because that is how it is. Now, next is...
Okay, Mangesh has a question, I believe.
Mangesh? Yes? Yes, please.
Syam, I just want to understand these roles which we are being assigning are on the periodic basis, or this is fixed for some terms like 6 months or 1 year?
There are a couple of roles in every meeting. Good question. There are a couple of roles in every meeting where it is fixed. Like in a club, the sergeant at arms is a fixed role. Okay. And the president of the club is a fixed role, who normally presides over. The rest are all chosen for the meeting by the Vice President Education or the people in charge of running the meeting. Okay,
so this can be on rotation. Let's say one person can take a role for 1 month and then he can move on to another role.
Which one?
The other roles, speaker, G roles, evaluator.
I won't say it is rotation. It is on normally, like in Kharga Toastmasters, we ask, or the VP Education asks we send out a Excel file or a simple form wherein everyone is asked what role they would like to play. Right? For example, speakers. There are speakers who are ready with their speeches. They opt. Speakers and even evaluators. Then like anyone opts for the role. And if there is no options, then the Vice President Education can reach out and say, right, we want you to be the grammarian, or we would like you to have the Toastmaster of the day. It is like that. There's no specific rotation. There's nothing like a rotation. That's not a practice. It is generally a good practice for members to come forward and choose the role. I hope I'm clear, Mangesh.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So now we were at the Sergeant at Arms. So what does the Sergeant at Arms do? Okay, he comes, he engages with the audience, ensures that everything is done. Currently, I will say stick to the script. Let us not experiment till the Sergeant at Arms get comfortable. Then he can start experimenting. Okay. But one very important role for the Sergeant at Arms is for him to introduce the process. That has to be very carefully done. Because, see, the meetings are for members. No doubt, every member comes and gives a speech. Everyone comes and gives evaluation. All those things, that is fine. But one key element in any Toastmasters meeting is the guest. So when a Sergeant at Arms tells like, okay, now please help me welcome our presiding officer, Toastmaster Somnath, and Toastmaster comes on stage, the guests still don't know who Toastmaster Somnath is. They don't know what the presiding officer's role is, what the president is. But there should be something told about Toastmaster Somnath, and that is called edification. The introduction is called the edification. See, every person on stage needs to be given that lift. That little bit of lift required gives that person the authority to come and be accepted on stage. And so that is the reason why we focus on short, brief, but encouraging introduction. Okay. So the Sergeant at Arms has to have that. Thank you, Aravind Nair Sahab, DTM, for joining in. So nice of you. We all learn from the doyen of Toastmasters, Swedish Toastmaster. Thank you. So that particular introduction, make it sweet, and ensure that you have a different introduction each time. It is okay. It is all good to have a very common introduction and just come in. We all know that Distinguished Toastmaster is an IT professional and he is father of 2 kids and all those. But there should be something like that. He goes for diving. That could be a very interesting thing. He has learned the art of swimming. So some interesting tidbits. Make it that one small support for Toastmaster Somnath as presiding officer to come on stage and start the meeting. Okay. So that is important for the Sergeant at Arms. And similarly for every role player that comes in. Small. I won't say that take a 3-pager introduction. A small, single, 1-line, 2-liners should be sufficient. Yes. So we all know, I told you right at the start about the timing. So now each role player has to ensure that he is focusing on the time given to him. That's it. That's in the agenda. As the time moves, the presiding officer, whatever he's saying, initially the presiding officer welcomes everyone, has guests in control. All that particular 3 or 4 minutes that the presiding officer has to also have a encouraging story or something which motivates the members. So all those has to be packaged within that 4 minutes or 5 minutes, what is given in the agenda. The presiding officer later on at the end of the meeting has also got a business session wherein he makes the announcement. So when it starts, he could tell about how a recent contest went, how the members of the club got so much knowledge or so much, who did exceedingly well in the recent contest, especially the club members, they can all be recognized. And then he smoothly jumps into introducing the Toastmaster again. So I'm just going as per the flow. So all in the background, the presiding officer also has to know that he is also setting the tone for maintaining the timing. Invariably, what we have noticed is once the Sergeant at Arms hands over, the time goes for a toss, generally. So again, as the presiding officer, make that short, brief, encouraging words, recognize who all have done exceeding well in contests or any other thing that you wanted to say, have that punch, and then, yes, one very common mistake that the presiding officer does is, what I have noticed is, sometimes the presiding officer speaks about the theme of the day. Fine, I mean, but I have a problem there, because It is the prerogative of the Toastmaster of the day. So don't steal his or her thunder. Don't try to make your own this thing about the theme of the day. We can always say that today we have when you are introducing the Toastmaster day, you can just have a brief about how today's theme is going to be very interesting, and I'm looking forward to what today the Toastmaster of the day is going to contain. That could be a way wherein you can just touch upon the theme, but please, the presiding officer, don't speak about the theme of the day. That is what I've been taught, and also that will be doing justice to the Toastmaster of the day. So, the presiding officer jumping over to the Toastmaster of the day, introducing him, and giving that stage to the Toastmaster. Now, key points again. Handing over is a key thing. The Sergeant at Arms will wait for the presiding officer to come, shake hands, and leave. At no stage will the stage be empty in the meeting. So please ensure that the presiding officer calls the Toastmaster of the day. The Toastmaster of the day comes, shake hands, and the presiding officer leaves. That graceful movement ensures that the quality of the meeting is noticed. Okay? And then that's when the Toastmaster of the day comes in. Yes. So now the key for the Toastmaster of the day is, after acknowledging whatever has been said, straight away jumps to the theme of the day. Okay, and ensure that the theme of the day, we have seen wonderful themes because over the period of time, we have learned a lot with the theme of the day, but ensure that it is positive, bright, there's a key message going out, and there's something which every time a person looks forward to, like every member wants to learn new things. So make it interesting, make it good, make it key takeaways. Key, again, Toastmaster Day handles an entire session, especially the prepared speech session is completely handled there. It may be 3-4 speeches, maybe a special session, all those things, please take care of the time. So even if you are prepared with a theme which is maybe 5 minutes long, if you think that there is going to be a challenge in maintaining the time, the Toastmaster Day, with all his or her wisdom, can reduce whatever needs to be said. Just be careful of that, because finally, who are the important people there? The speakers. The speakers have done the preparation, have taken their time to come in and give the speeches. So let us give maximum time for the speakers and whatever follows. So again, when I am the Toastmaster of the day, when I call upon the speakers, I always ensure that I have something about that speaker based on the theme. So it may be a 3-4 days before the speech, before the meeting itself, the TMOD reaches out to the speaker and checks what is his or her thoughts on the theme. A couple of questions may be asked to them much in advance so that you are able to include the speakers with the theme of the day. I mean, these are small things that can be done, which helps. That helps not only in connecting with the speaker, you know the speaker beforehand. Sometimes you don't know who the speaker is. So Uday is dropping off. Thank you, Uday, for being here till the time. It's almost 9:30, right? So I need to be careful now. Yes. So, and now the Toastmaster of the day, generally, a good practice for the club is to have a Toastmaster of the day and the general evaluator, these two people known much in advance. It's not that the TMOD should be known only 3 or 4 days. I mean, what I used to do earlier, or what's a good practice is once a meeting is over, the next Toastmaster of the day is known as well for the next meeting. So at least the Toastmaster of the day has got around 10 days to prepare for the next. So, and the general evaluator as well, it can be done similarly so that the general evaluator can understand who are the people available for the evaluator's role, so that there's no last minute hunting for the role. Like normally TMOD will be able to understand who are the speakers. So once the speakers, there will be a lot of senior people. Some of them may be coming in. Some evaluators have to be done. Evaluations have to be done as per the speech objectives, right? So some speeches are very advanced speeches. For advanced speeches, you need to have advanced senior Toastmasters as well. So basically, all those, and this goes in conjunction with Arvind. You had something to say, sir? I saw a brief flicker in that. Okay. So this conjunction should happen between the VP education, between the Toastmaster of the day and the general evaluator well in advance. So that the last minute, see what happens, the flurry of activities that happen before the meeting is when things are not organized. If the Toastmaster of the day and the general evaluator are well known much before, and each of them have a plan of action about who is going to be in the team. Like, see, the evaluators are reporting to the general evaluator. The R counter, the timer are reporting to the general evaluator, right? When in that session, the evaluation. So all those, that clarity is very important. Similarly, TMOD, if you should know who are the speakers much before, their titles. Again, that's a very common mistake. You'll find some Toastmasters, they come to a stage, the speaker, what's your title? What's your title? Tell me, please. That should not happen. The title should be known before the meeting itself, and the title should be read out in a format that they use in the contest. Name, title, name, and the title should be not told to the speaker, it should be told to the audience. A general common mistake that we do, that the Toastmaster of the day is catch hold of the hand and don't let go of the hand when you are introducing the speaker. Okay, we shake hands, we call him a speaker. So you look at the audience and tell the title so that the audience knows what the title. So before the speaker comes in, the speaker's evaluator is called by the Toastmaster, right? And the Toastmaster, the evaluator is supposed to come and read out the objective. And that objective is very clear. What Toastmasters needs to reinforce here is very careful. See, the audience, which comprises of the members as well as guests, unless they understand what the objective is, so later on when the members vote, the voting is to be done based on the objectives of the speech. So it is not that they should understand the objectives of the speech is met or not met. Like there are cases where a member is giving a speech on body language and vocal variety, and the whole speech was fabulous. It was an emotional speech, but no touch on the objective. That is, no vocal variety, no gestures, all those things. Then speech was grammatically correct, wonderful English. It sounded great, but that member, that particular speaker should not ideally win the best speaker award. So sometimes we get carried away by the speech rather than the objective. So that clarity should come for the members as well while voting. So sometimes it is important for the Toastmaster of the day to reiterate, especially when voting is done, that please vote as per the objectives of the speech. So the evaluator's role in detailing the objectives is also very critical for the meeting to go well. These are small things which every meeting, and this comes with time. That's why every time in between, mentoring is also critical. Every role player, be it the speaker, be it the evaluator, be it the general evaluator. Yes, Sarvin Nair, yes, please go. Thank you so much for gracing our occasion. Thank you so much. So, every role player, please connect to their mentors or even senior Toastmasters if need be, just to have a cross check whether my role is done correctly or not. This is what I need to do. That clarity, if it is available. Here today, especially in Karga Toastmasters, I see that on the WhatsApp group, a clear guideline has been given regarding what needs to be followed. That has been carefully curated by our VP Education. A big shout out to her for actually reaching out and getting to understand what needs to be done. Even then, before the role player gets on stage, it is always good to get back, check with the VP head or the mentors and get a clarity on how the roles are being done. So I covered now Sergeant terms coming to TMOD, the TMOD introducing the speakers, the evaluators before the speakers coming and giving the objectives. And finally, see, here again, the TMOD can play a beautiful role, right? If he thinks that here where he has got time, even between the speeches, he can get back into the theme. He can probably look at the speech content. Oh, Zoom meeting is going to end Zoom. How is it? Okay, only 1 minute time is left. How do we do now? What do we do? Rohan, you're on mute.
Yeah. I'll just share another link quickly now, okay? And we can rejoin on that link.
That will be great. So,
Yeah.
so we wait because it's less than 1 minute. It's going to cut anytime. So, how is the other members going to get this thing, the link? Krishna, please post it on the Mumbai
I'll
WhatsApp
post
group
it
as
on
well.
both the groups, sir. Yeah.
Okay, sure. And I'll also post it to ABTM. How shall I? This is very interesting. Okay, just give me a feedback of how these things before it cuts. I hope things are. I'm not confusing all the members.
No, sir. It was quite clear.
Okay. That's very interesting. Thank you. Krishna, it will stop, right?
Yeah, it will
Or
stop.